Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a long time since I have podcasted last, a little bit over a month, and there's a good reason for that, and that is because we have acquired a new puppy. So if you hear any woofing in the background or puppy paws, or if my camera gets knocked, it's because it's this little guy right here. This is Reginald. We call him Reggie, and he is the biggest sweetheart ever. Such a sweetie, but he is only 4.5 months old. So with that being said, anything can happen this episode. So let's get into that. This is the Knitty Witch podcast, episode 12. I am Vanessa Knitty Witch on Instagram and Ravelry. You can find me on Etsy as Knitty Witch Shop or knittywitch.com, and you can email me at knittywitchshop@gmail.com. I have so much to share with you. I have finished objects, works in progress, and a ton of acquisitions. I am coming to you from Dover, Delaware, which is where I live with my family. I am retired Air Force and was stationed at the Air Force Base and never left and ended up here. But that is okay. We absolutely love it, and I love everything that I have going on here, even though Delaware is a small wonder. So what have I been up to? Well, I have some finished objects to show you. So let's start getting into all the fun stuff. So for my first finished object, I have socks. Actually, both of my finished objects are socks because I have been working night and day on socks for Summer Sock Camp. Summer Sock Camp is a knit along hosted by the Crazy Sock Lady, and it runs all through the summer, and you knit as many socks as possible in your preferred way. Magic loop, 9-inch circs, DPNs. I chose 9-inch circs because that is how I love to knit my socks. It's so quick and easy, and you fly through them. This yarn is by Yarn Love, and I believe the colorway is called Cosmos. And I love the way these came out. So my socks for me are a 60-inch sock, and I knit these toe up with an afterthought, excuse me, with a cut-in afterthought heel. I didn't mean to swallow a frog, it just happened. You can tell I'm out of practice, but that's okay. So these are my first pair for summer. Not my first pair, this is actually I'm not sure what pair I'm on. I know that up until right now I'm on pair 4, so this could be pair 2 or pair 3, I'm not sure. But here we are for that pair. And then my second finished object is also a pair of socks. And I love this colorway so much. This is Kirby Werby in the Space Cowgirl colorway. And these just came out like absolutely amazing. I love the way they came out. I knit these the same way I just mentioned, 9-inch circulars, toe up, and with an afterthought heel. So I love how my heels don't exactly match up, but I love how afterthought heels keep the self-striping pattern, and that's why I use them so much, because you can't really tell, but this whole bin right here is all self-striping socks. I love self-striping vanilla socks. They're my absolute favorite to knit. So here we are. This is one of the pairs for Summer Sock Camp. I'm doing really good with Summer Sock Camp. I've had so much fun, and it's been a blast seeing everyone's projects and getting to knit along with everyone, which is the whole point of a knit along. But it was fun to see how many people actually participated in Summer Sock Camp, which was quite a few. So it's been fun to make new friends, and I followed a couple people and I got a couple followers, and we have just been talking, and it's been just such a good time and such good camaraderie, and I love it. So that was my Space Cowgirl socks. Okay, so that's it for the socks. Another finished object I have that I've been working on is my Crochet Mandala Blanket. So yes, this is a blanket. But this is the first portion of the kit. I have mentioned in the last episode that this is a kit from Annie'sKitClubs.com, and it is their Crochet Mandala Club. They have tons of clubs, like they have scrapbooking, card making, crochet, knitting, Moroccan tile knitting and crochet. I mean, you name it, and they have the crafts completely covered. This is, I can't remember exactly the name of this color scheme. I think it's called like Floral Paradise, maybe. I could be making that up. But I would have never been able to pull this off without the videos. So every month it's $25.99 with the shipping. You get a portion of the kit shipped to you and a section of the blanket with video tutorials online. So you have access to online and you get all the video tutorials, and they walk you through it step by step, line by line of the pattern, and they do the whole thing with you. So if you're a little hesitant about picking up a project like this, I would say don't worry about it. You can totally do this. If you can follow a video, you will be completely fine. So I'll bring this up close. I am just like completely awed that I was even able to pull something like this off. Now, it did not come without its fair share of struggles. So this is my first attempt. And what happened here, and my advice to you is this: they tell you in the video to weave in your ends as you go. So I did. I wove in my ends, and then what happened was, on this row, you're supposed to crochet through the back loop only, which is picking up this back set of stitches here. Well, because I wove in my ends into the back of the stitches, I was not able to pick up the stitches. It was almost completely impossible. So I learned my lesson, and my advice to you is do not weave in your ends as you go. And you know what? I'm gonna say that for knitting too. I have found that in knitting, when I weave in my ends and I make a mistake and I need to rip something out, can't rip it out. You've already woven in your ends. This happened to me on my Shawlography shawl. I was not happy with the color scheme. I was not happy with the colors I chose. I wanted to rip it out, and because I wove in all my ends, I was not able to rip it out. So I would say don't weave in your ends until the end of your project. Now, it's one thing if you're doing like a scrappy blanket and you want to weave in your ends in the scrappy project, like, okay, that's a little different. But for something like this, or for something that you are knitting, I would say wait to the end to weave in your ends. Then you can avoid all the pain and agony that I had when I was trying to crochet through the back loop. So this is my second attempt, and it was not without its fair share of struggles. It did take me a couple times to get the hang of the different stitches, but I did it. And I'm so excited to move on to the next portion of this and watch it grow. And I did this. Like, I did this. Crochet mandalas are something that I'm extremely interested in. So I'm really looking forward to learning more techniques and learning more how to crochet, or learning how to crochet. Okay, words are hard. Learning how to read a crochet pattern better. That's what I'm trying to say. How to learn the verbiage that goes behind it so that I can interpret the patterns better. But I did it. So here we are, and that was the Annie's Crochet Club Kit Mandala Afghan. All right, my last finished object is a spinning whip. And this is, it's still on the bobbin because, guys, this is my life. Like, this whole month has been a complete whirlwind of things. So here is, this is a braid of Malabrigo Nube in the, I want to say Galaxy colorway, but that's not it at all. I'm completely making that up. I will find what this is actually called, the colorway, but it is so beautiful. It is this gorgeous purple, and this is two singles plied together as a 2-ply. And I spun this on my Athena Capricorn travel wheel, which is becoming my new favorite wheel. This wheel spins beautifully, and you wouldn't expect it from such a small wheel. And you wouldn't expect, just like looking at it, you wouldn't expect it to be so good, but it is that good. I love it. I had a hitchhiker back in the day. I think I've spoken of this before. And Hitchhiker was made by the Merlin Tree. I'm not even sure if they're still in business, but I had to get rid of that wheel because it was just making a racket. It was just noisy and off balance, and it just wasn't doing what I wanted it to, and it wasn't spinning the way I wanted it to, and it was becoming quite frustrating. So I ended up destashing it to someone who was aware of that, and picking up this Athena Capricorn wheel, and I cannot be more happy with this purchase. I'm like completely blown away, and it's fast becoming one of my favorite wheels. So I will pull this off the bobbin, and I will skein it up and give it a bath and show you guys later what that difference looks like off the bobbin. But for now, I just wanted to share with you that I actually finished it, and I have mentioned that I have had problems in plying before, and I have not been able to make a successful skein of yarn. Reggie, the puppy, is trying to eat everything. So I feel like this is my first successful skein of yarn. I didn't have the problems in plying that I had with my other skeins where there was too much twist and it was plying on itself, and I was overspinning. This didn't happen. I had a little bit more control, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that I pre-drafted the shit out of this braid. And I guess that's the trick. I guess the trick is pre-drafting. Like if you want to spin evenly and you want to spin fine and you want to spin, words are hard today because I'm looking at the puppy out of the corner of my eye. So I have like two things going on in my brain. He's sitting right here, but he keeps trying to chew on everything. Consistency. If you're looking for consistent yarn, then pre-drafting is the way to go. And I did that this time, and yay, it worked. So I have yarn, and I'm so excited. I hope that this becomes like a trend and I start to be successful at making yarn so that I could actually knit with my hand spun. I've not knit with my hand spun because so this is my hand spun cubby right here. And I had a puppy at one time that discovered it when it was lower to the ground and ate through my hand spun. So I don't have a skein of hand spun because it's in pieces. I love dogs, and I love puppies, and I love rescuing puppies, and I love finding good homes for puppies that need homes. And if I could just have a farm full of puppies, that would be excellent for me. But they do chew. So that's why I don't have any yarn. That's why I don't have any hand spun, because the dog ate it. The dog ate my hand spun. But yeah, so Malabrigo, I will say that the Malabrigo fiber was not my favorite to spin. It was a little hard to draft. It was very dense, and I want to say sticky, for lack of a better word. It was it was hard on my hands to pull it apart. So not exactly my favorite fiber to work with, but beautiful results. Like absolute beautiful results. I love the way that turned out. And I have a lot of Malabrigo in my stash. So it's getting spun. And as long as you pre-draft it, it's fine. It's just that the pre-drafting is a little difficult at first for me. Okay, so that is all of my finished objects. Let's get into works in progress. So for my first work in progress, I have for you another pair of socks for summer sock camp, and this will probably be my last pair. So this is yarn from Pineapple Yarn, who is Marina. I love her, and she has a podcast. I would go check her out. I love her podcast. She spins, she weaves, she dyes, she knits. I love it. So this is her colorway, Graffiti is Art. I'm knitting these the same way on 9-inch circulars. No big surprise there. Toe up. Here is what I have left of the skein. So it is so beautiful. Here is her band right there. And this is living in my favorite bag for socks, which is my Joji Locatelli, well, Joji & Co. bag. It is Joji Locatelli. Her company is Joji & Co. And it is one of the box little sock bags. And I am finding that I'm switching over from cloth fabric project bags to leather and canvas because my needles, especially the sock needles, which are size 0 and are like toothpicks, are poking through my bags and putting holes in all my bags. And I can't be having that. So I'm going to be using my cloth bags for like larger needles that are maybe a little more blunt. But for socks, I'm definitely finding that harder materials are working out better for me. So I am actually, this is the second sock. And what I do is I knit the 2 sock tubes. So this is the first sock tube. It does not have a heel. And then I'll knit the second sock tube, and that does not have a heel. And then I'll go back and I'll put the heels into both of them. And mainly the reason for that is I didn't have to do that with this sock because it's variegated. But because I knit so many self-striping socks, I try to make them, no, I don't try. I do make them match. And depending on what color comes out of the skein is where I will begin the second sock or start the heel of the first sock. It depends on what color I'm at. So I didn't have to do that, but just out of habit, I could have went and put the heels in because it wouldn't have mattered, but I didn't. So here is my super cute summer sock camp stitch marker. And this is Falcor from The Never Ending Story. And this is a stitch marker by Clay Cannon, who is Jessica. And I am an 80s child. I was born in 82. So I'm turning 40 this year. And The Never Ending Story is one of my favorite movies of all time. And to have a little Falcor was just, had to have him. So this is my probably last pair for summer sock camp. So I haven't been knitting socks and up until summer sock camp for a long time. And now I'm thinking that I'm going to have a pair of socks on the needles all the time because it was so much easier to run out the house and grab a pair of socks in this little tiny bag and to carry this around places than to carry around a whole sweater project, which is what I've been doing. But this is easier. So I'm going to be doing more of that. My next work in project, you have work in progress. I make that mistake a lot saying work in project, but my next work in progress you've seen before, and it is my blanket. This is my granny stripe blanket. I've put a few more, oh, I'm pulling it out. I'm pulling it out as we talk. I've made a few more rows on this. Not very much progress. I haven't been working on it that much, but this is a granny stripe blanket. And I am using Lion Brand Mandala in the Gnome colorway, which is my favorite. I bought more of this. I'm hoping that not only do I have enough to finish this blanket, but I hope I have extra left over for another blanket in the future, or if they're still making it, I might buy more. I just love the colors. It makes me so happy. It just reminds me of like a tropical rainbow because it's so vibrant. So, oh, I'm stuck. Whew. My project just tried to eat me. So I am using a Furls crochet hook in size G because the Lion Brand's Mandala is actually a DK weight, not a worsted. So I am using a G. I'm not sure. I think that's a 4.5 millimeter. Don't quote me on that. Could be wrong. And this is living in my elephant bucket bag by Star Knits, who is Alina. I love her bags. This is very sturdy. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this would be a better project bag because it's reinforced and my needles won't poke through this. So that is the blanket. Now, the project that has been taking all of my attention, and one of the reasons that I haven't gotten much else done is because I've been working so... No, Reggie, no. He's trying to eat a shoe. I have been working solely on this shawl. Reggie, drop it. Come here. So this is what it's like when life gets in the way. But how can you be mad at this face? He looks like a Muppet. Like, his name should be Reginald Muppet Bradley because he looks like Fozzie Bear from the Muppet Babies. I'm sorry. Please excuse my interruptions. This is the first time that I'll be podcasting with interruptions. It's a little different for me, and I'm trying to just get this all out for you rather than holding off and waiting for the perfect opportunity, because the perfect opportunity is just not coming. So the shawl that I have been working on is the Feel Good Shawl by Andrea Mowry. This is a brioche shawl, all right? I have never done brioche. This is a first for me. And not only does it have brioche in it, it has 2-color brioche, 1-color brioche, and double brioche, 2-color double brioche. Did you know double brioche was a thing? Because I sure didn't. But it is. And I wish I wasn't in the middle of a row, but you guys can see this. Reginald, drop it. No. Come here. You're killing my podcast, dude. All right. So I am using yarn from Moondrake Co. This beautiful kit that I picked up from Do You Knit. So I am doing the Shawlnanigans 2022 knit along with Do You Knit, which is a store in New Jersey. And you had to have purchased the yarn from them. But if you did, you're free to knit any shawl that you want and participate in the knit along. So that's what I did. I bought a kit from them. And I love the colors. When I saw the colors online, I was like, that's the one. I have to make that. I wasn't even considering making this shawl. Okay, if you know anything about me, you know I don't like brioche. I've said that before, and it's not that I don't like the technique of brioche. I don't like the look of brioche. So I will say I didn't like the look of brioche, and I didn't like brioche before I started knitting it. And now I'm in love. Now I absolutely love it, and I want to brioche all the things. So here is the front side, and this has the blue popping. Here is the back side where the pink pops. It has the orange, and then here is the double brioche. So I know a few people commented that they didn't realize that double brioche was a technique, and it is, and I didn't know either, but that's how it differs. It's a little bit wider. There's the pink on the background, so there's a little more of a gap, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And I will say this shawl has been a journey. Learning a new technique, it was easy. It wasn't that it was hard. I watched Andrea and Mowry's video tutorials on how to knit brioche, and they were perfect. I was able to pick it up like that, no problem. The problem is I'm a continental knitter. I knit very fast. And what that means is when I make a mistake and I don't catch it, I knit so much after that mistake that it is a lot to rip out. And that happened to me. So I was using lifelines, and there is a pattern repeat that occurs. It's about maybe 8-row pattern repeat, right? And I was putting in a lifeline every repeat, and then I would finish the repeat, I would look at it, and then I would take the lifeline out and I would put the lifeline back in and start another repeat. Well, I did not realize that I made a mistake, pulled my lifeline out, moved it up, and then realized that I made a mistake. And now there's no way for me to rip it back. I had to tink back 8 rows of brioche. 8 rows of brioche, stitch by stitch, to get back to my mistake, to fix it. I tried. Okay, so that was the first time that I made a mistake. So after that, I got back on track, started deciding that these lifelines aren't working and I'm not going to use them. So then we're knitting on. I find another mistake, and it is a few rows down, and it is a twisted stitch, and it is just driving me crazy, and I cannot live with it. Just couldn't live with it, could I? Couldn't just leave it alone. So I decide that I'm going to do something crazy, and I'm going to drop the stitch, and I'm going to pick it back up. I'm going to fix it. Well, about 4 video tutorials later, it was not fixed. I could not figure it out. And one of the reasons I couldn't figure it out is because a lot of the tutorials were for 2-color brioche, and I made the mistake in 1-color brioche, where all of the yarn overs and all of the stitches look exactly the same. So I could not distinguish which one was a yarn over and which one was an actual stitch. So you know what I had to do? I had to rip it out, and I did not have a lifeline. So I ripped, ribbit, and had to pick back all those stitches up without screwing it up. And I did not screw it up. I did it. I feel like a champ that I was able to get myself out of this. Let me tell you, when you make a mistake in brioche, there's no one coming for you. Like you're on your own, man. It is hard. It is hard. There are people who are able to fix their mistakes in brioche, and God bless you, because I can't do it. But this is it, and I'm in the middle of a row, so I apologize for that, but it is coming out beautiful. I cannot wait to wear this. I mean, it is a DK weight. I did not mention the Moondrake is DK. And it is so snuggly. Let me show you the label. So here is her label. And it's a soft, there's one of the colors, it's a soft DK. So it's extra squishy. And this is living in my Black Pearl Magic Rainbow Pot Leaf bag, which is one of my favorites because the colors, yes, I love the pot leaves so much, but it's not that. It's just the colors are absolutely gorgeous. It could have had anything on it and I would have been like, I need it. But the fact that it has canvas leaves on it just makes it so much better. So I have heard that she is actually going to be making more of these, so stay tuned on that. You might be able to get one finally. And I don't mean finally like in a bad way, I mean just you might be able to get one. Shayla is an amazing person, and she is working her fingers off trying to get everyone a bag that they want. Speaking of that, that is all of my works in progress. It has been so long since the last podcast. I'm not sure if I mentioned that I went to a pop-up shop in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. It's called Forever Yarn, I believe was the name of the yarn store. You can tell that I'm a little bit scattered this podcast and a little ill-prepared, and that is because it has been a really long time, and I have tried to podcast over and over again, and I just could not get myself to do it because with everything going on in the background. So I apologize for not having my shit together, but I'm trying really hard. So I went to a pop-up in Forever Yarn in Doylestown, and it had Chelsea yarns. It had Black Pearl Magic, Fashion School Dropout, Hooks and Coffee was there, the Knitting Kitty was there. I'm pretty sure that's her name. I learned people's real names. I always remember people by their real name if that's what I meet them as, or their Instagram name, depending on how I meet you. Hooks and Coffee is Jessie. I love her. She is great. I met Jess and Erica, who are that's Waffle Belgium, and it's Jess Fell on Instagram. They have the Floxy Instagram if you guys follow Floxy. So this pop-up was absolutely amazing. I got to see everyone there. I got to meet Christina finally. I have seen Christina, who is Chelsea Yarns, in a few different pop-ups, and it has been just so busy that I was not able to get to talk to her, and this time I was actually able to stop and talk to her, and I had such a great time. The yarn store, beautiful. Where it was located, absolutely beautiful downtown area. It was such a good time. It took me, it was only supposed to take me about 2 hours to get there. It ended up taking me 2.5 hours with traffic. I had traffic the whole way there and the whole way back. I don't know what was going on, but it was just like traffic central. But in the end, it was all worth it just to be able to see everyone and spend time with everyone. So if I can, I will get pictures of that up. And now I believe I can get into acquisitions. Yeah. So I've done my FOs, I've done my whips, and let's get into acquisitions. So I have a lot of acquisitions. I am sorry. A few people had updates. It's been a really long time. It's been like a month and a half, so I've acquired some things. So if you're not into acquisitions, I completely get it, and you don't have to stay. I thank you so much for joining me for as long as you feel comfortable joining me, and I will see you next time if this is not your thing. But if you would like to see all of the rainbow goodness that I have acquired, then here we go. I also apologize for the crinkling because a lot of this is in bags, so there will be lots of crinkles. So, okay, my first acquisition. Let me find the other bag. All right, so this is from Three Waters Farm, and I got a couple things to talk about. So this is from Three Waters Farm, and this is their Tour de Fleece colorway. So this is just riding along American Merino and cultivated silk, because I know some people don't like silk blends, but I love them. I don't know what it is. I love the way they draft. So here is the color. Of course it's rainbow. There's Three Waters Farm on the bottom because I'm me and I had to have a rainbow. And I was actually really excited that this was the Tour de Fleece colorway. Sorry, I just had to look for the puppy and see what he's doing. So this is the Tour de Fleece colorway. So let's talk about Tour de Fleece for a second. So I have my spin along going, which was for Tour de Fleece, the same. It was the Knitty Witch SAL 22. And I was supposed to be spinning for this knit along with you guys. And what had happened was I have a puppy who likes to eat my spinning wheel when I treadle. So I have not been spinning. I have gotten no spinning done except for the Malabrigo that I showed you. And Tour de Fleece has been a complete bust for me, which I'm really disappointed about because I really was excited to be in these groups and to participate, but it just did not work out. And I thank everyone who is participating in the spin along. You guys are freaking awesome. And I'm sorry I haven't been spinning with you, but life, life. So that was the Tour de Fleece colorway from Three Waters Farm. He wants to get up again. Thank you for the kisses. Okay. So since I talked about the Doylestown trip, this is my acquisitions from the Doylestown Forever Yarn trip. So I was able to pick up, here's my receipt. I was able to pick up 2 bags from Shayla, who is Black Pearl Magic. I missed this when this came online, when she had an update. I missed this. This is the Unicorn Yarn Balls vinyl bag. It's like a medium-sized bag, and it is so freaking cute. And then I was able to get a sock bag as well, which is adorable. It's black on the back, and I love the stars on front. So I am excited to get to use these. I love these vinyl bags. These vinyl bags are life. Like your needles don't poke through. You can see everything. They're my absolute favorite. So I'm so happy that I was able to get these. From Fashion School Dropout, I was able to get this Tribeca sock set called Over the Rainbow. It's so pretty. Look at the top of it there. So beautiful with the matching not matching, but with the coordinating mini skein. And from Christina, who's Chelsea Lux, I was able to get this colorway called Flipside. And we remarked that it kind of matches my hair a little bit. My hair is very faded. We're going to be doing it again, but it kind of like goes with my moody blue. And it's so freaking beautiful. So these will be socks. It's an 80-10-10. All right, so I have never knit with an 80-10-10. Even 80-20s, I'm like, the more nylon in the sock, the better for me, because I've had a bad experience. I knit a pair of socks that didn't have nylon in it. They were just superwash wool. Against everyone's recommendation, I decided to try it anyway. They were worn the first time and got holes in them. I will never knit non-nylon socks ever again because of this. I am like completely traumatized. I don't know how to darn socks. The complete set was just a wash. So no. So I will never knit socks without nylon. So this only has 10% nylon, but I'm hoping that that's enough to keep them durable. We'll see. I'm excited. This is so beautiful. Since we're talking about the Annie's Club kits, I wanted to show you how this came. So this is the second portion of my kit. So it comes like this. And it tells you that you might have leftover yarn from the first section and to save that because you're gonna need it. This is rounds 19 through 35. So there it shows you the portion that you'll be making. I was right. Look, Floral Paradise. So there is the whole blanket in its entirety, and it's in all its glory. And there is the next section. So this is what shows up at your door. So that is the next part, which is part 2. So I've only made it, I'm actually behind because this came to me at the beginning of the month and is now the end of the month. And I'm probably gonna have to like put one on hold or just have a backlog because I'm just not getting to the mandala in time. I really want to get the Feel Good Shawl done before the knit along, which ends in August. So I'm really focusing on that. Since we're talking about crochet, I can tell you that, you know, I love Furls crochet hooks. They released an emerald green, and I needed a 6 mil. This is an I, so I think this is 6 millimeters. I got to get better with these metrics, but I think this is 6 millimeter, and that is beautiful. Like, it's got shimmer in it. And then also I picked up a case from them so that I could keep this in my purse and not worry about it getting damaged, because this hook is not metal. So this hook is resin, and it is an H, which is 5 millimeter. And this was the Pride hook for this month. Rainbow. So last year's was just rainbow and I didn't get it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And then they threw glitter in it. And when you throw glitter in something, you basically have it sold to me. I mean, I love it. I will say that the resin hook on acrylic yarn, because no, that's not true. I have used it with cotton yarn as well. It's not as slippery as the Odyssey. These metal Odyssey hooks are like, whew, they glide through your crochet. This is a little stickier. That's okay. I still love it. So this is living in my purse, and in my purse, I'm keeping my little Amsterdam, oh wow, Amsterdam bag I picked up from Black Mountain Yarn Shop. And it's got a skein of Lily's Sugar and Cream cotton in it. No, no, come here. He's eating shoes. It has a skein of Lily and Cream sock yarn or cotton yarn in it, and I'm making a washcloth. So my purse knitting is always a washcloth. It's always in my purse because it's the smallest thing that I can fit in my purse, and I don't carry a very big purse with me. I have a, what do you call it? Like a sling, like a shoulder sling, and it doesn't have a lot of room. So the one little ball of Lily Sugar and Cream, which is, if you're not familiar, it's this stuff right here. And it just fits in my bag perfectly. So that's what I carry around with me. Let's see if I can, like, he wants snuggles. That's his problem. He's being like a child, really. He's only 4.5 months old. And if you don't give him attention, he will wreak havoc. So there's that. All right, come on, buddy. You want to play with something? Play with this. Okay. My next acquisition is from Teresa of Pretty Twisted Yarns. Let me open this up. I love how she packages her yarn. I really appreciate that. So this is Laser Light Show, and this is from her last, I can't remember what month it is, but this is the Super Secret Society of Self-Striping Sock Yarn, I think. So this was one of the monthly colorways, and oh my freaking God, I cannot wait to knit these. Like, look at these colors. Is that not me? And it says laser light show. It reminds me of a skating rink, and I have been roller skating lately, so I'm in love with this so hard. So not only did I get that from her, I also got Stardust. This is her Stardust base, and it's Semi-Charmed is the colorway. Look at this. Oh my goodness, like the glitter is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to make socks out of these. Like, I am so excited. I also ordered an advent calendar from her. So that makes, I said that I wasn't going to order a yarn advent calendar. So I went and I ordered, I have now a total of 3. I went and I ordered one from Birdie Parker Designs, which is a jewelry maker. And it's like notions and different things like that. And then I ordered one from, I don't remember. I'm terrible. I want to say Junk Yarn. I think it's Junk Yarn. And it is a Gem in the Holograms advent. And how it works is it's actually a shawl. And for every week in December, there'll be 4. You'll get a portion of the shawl and the yarn that goes with that portion of the shawl to knit up. That is so cool and such a cool idea. And it's themed after Gem in the Holograms, which is an 80s cartoon, which is one of my favorite shows ever. Okay, I grew up on that show. It made me want to be a rock star. Turns out I am. We all are. We are all rock stars. If you woke up this morning, you're a rock star. So that's how that advent is going to go. So I said that I wasn't going to get a regular advent because I have so many minis. Well, Teresa's advent is bright and colorful. How can I not get a bright and colorful advent? I had to. So I have a Pretty Twisted Yarns advent coming. Nope, no, he grabbed the yarn. Apparently, Reggie likes Pretty Twisted Yarn as well. Buddy, come on now. Okay, so my next acquisition is from Kirby Werby Yarns, and this is Rose Apothecary Remix. This is I think it's a 22 stripe self-striping sock yarn. Look at how freaking gorgeous this is. Kirby Werby is my favorite self-striping sock yarn dyer. This is Cherie. I love her. She is the funniest person that I've ever met in my life. And I just love her stuff. Now, I will say that her stuff is a little bit hard to get. And by that, I mean, right now she's pregnant with her second child. She does have a toddler. Her toddler is beautiful and smart and witty and into everything. So she has her hands full, and now she has another baby on the way. So she's not dying as much as she normally does, and her pre-orders do take a long time to ship. I think this took 2 or 3 months to get to me, but I'm not in a rush for any reason, and I don't need it right now. So I don't see a problem with waiting. As long as you know that you're going to be waiting for a little bit and you keep that in mind, you'll be good to go. And I know that like other dyers do the same. Like I think Desert Fisted Dye Works has like a 6 to 8 week lead time as well. You just know what you're getting into and know that it's going to take a lot of time to get to you, but it'll be worth it. And look at that. Freaking gorgeous. So that is that. My next acquisition is fiber from Jeannie of the Fiber Jeannie, which is now my absolute favorite bat maker, fiber artist. I mean, I want to buy her whole shop. Everything she makes, every one of her bats, I want. She also spins yarn, and she spins some of the most beautiful yarn I have ever seen. So I picked up 2 petite braids. This is Rainbows All Day. I'm trying to make sure they don't crinkle. So for these to go together, so this is the same. Put one down. So there's the petite braid, and like, look at these colors. There's her logo. I picked up 3 bats. So here is one. Reggie. Here is 2. I mean, look at this. So beautiful. And look how she packages them with little bows on them. So this is the 3rd bat I picked up from her. I cannot wait to spin it. Look at it, it has tons of texture and fibery bits in there that I can't wait to see how that spins up. Now, I know that a lot of people that spin art bats like that, they spin chunky yarn. I have been conditioned to spin fine. So, I've been conditioned to spin fine. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for me to reverse how I've been thinking this whole time and to spin chunkier. But I am so fascinated with the technique that Jeannie uses to core spin. And there's also a couple other people that spin chunky, like Moon and Yarn is a weaver, and she spins this beautiful chunky art yarn and then weaves them into weavings. Guys, I have to do this. Like, so cool. So cool. I have not been interested in weaving because I'm not interested in woven products like the things that people normally weave, like scarves and dish mats and like different things like that. I'm not really interested in that. But these wall hangings that are woven, that are like art pieces, I am totally interested in that. And I like can't wait to try it. So I don't know how I'm going to be spinning these bats up yet. I don't know if I'm going to spin them fine to see how they come out, or if I'm going to try to spin them chunky. I probably won't try to spin them chunky because I don't want to use them and mess them up. I think we're all afraid of that when we're new at something and we haven't tried a new technique. We're afraid of messing up and then like ruining our fiber or ruining our yarn. So I'm sure that you can understand how I feel about that. So I'll probably practice on something else first, but I definitely want to try to spin chunky. All right, so I only have a couple acquisitions left. Hopefully I can put Reggie down and he won't eat anything in that time period. Right? Not eat anything? No. Okay. So I did get my row 1 yarn subscription for this month. Nope. So row 1 is the monthly subscription of mini skeins. I am behind again. I have a whole basket of mini skeins that I have not put in my blanket because I have not been working on my scrappy blanket. I've been working on this shawl. But this month's dyer was Meg's & Co., which I had never heard of. So it was really nice to be introduced to a new dyer. And row 1 is a monthly subscription. It's $40 a month, and they come pre-wound. You get 10 10-gram mini skeins, pre-wound and ready to go, which is invaluable. Time is money. And the more time, well, I'm not trying to make money, but I've always learned time is money. Let me try this again. My time is valuable to me. So the more time I have to do the things I want to do, the better. So one of the things I don't want to do is wind mini skeins. It's already done for me. I love this subscription service. If you can get into row 1, I would get into row 1. My next acquisitions are a sweater's quantities worth of yarns. So I've been wanting to make the Comfort Fade Cardi from Andrea Mowry forever. I have the pattern. I've never found a kit. Okay, excuse me. Reggie. Okay. I've never found a kit that I have liked color-wise that I wanted to invest in the yarn for, because a lot of this pattern, so it's a fade. Sorry that I'm scattered. It's a fade. And a lot of the fades that I saw in kits didn't speak to me. And it would behoove you to buy a kit, because then you're buying just the amount of yarn that you need. Because if you were to just try to like piece together a kit by yourself, you'd end up spending more money than if you just bought a kit that was already portioned out for you. So I bought my kit from Summer Camp Fibers, and this is the You Do You Boo colorway. It doesn't look like a fade, but it is, because I don't have them faded, and Reggie's gonna eat my yarn, so I'm not gonna try to put it right. But as you can see, there's the darker colors, the lighter colors, the transition colors, and I saw this knitted up and I was just like, well, I saw the swatch knitted and the way it fades, and I was like, this is it. This is the fade. This is the one that I want. I've Summer Camp Fibers. I've held on to this pattern, waiting for the right yarn for so long, and I'm so happy that I finally got yarn and got a kit that I really love to make this. And this will be my Rhinebeck sweater. So not only am I going to have the Andrea Mowry Feel Good Shawl, I'm also going to have the Andrea Mowry Comfort Fade Cardi, and I'm really hoping this year that I get to meet her. I did not meet her last year. I was shy, but this year I'm going to be wearing, or hopefully will be wearing, her patterns, and I would really love to meet her. My other sweater's quantity of yarn is actually not for me, it's for Brandon. So I'm married now, so the sweater curse no longer applies. So he finally gets a sweater. Reggie, no. No shoes. No shoes. No shoes. So I'm going to be making him, I'm looking for my phone so that I could show you the pattern, and I'm recording on my phone. So that's not gonna work out, but I will pop the name of the pattern on the screen that I'll be making him. I believe it's a pattern by Jared Flood, and this is Barocco Ultra Wool. I tried to get him to like Malabrigo. I tried a couple different indie dyed brands to show him, and he just really liked the simplicity and the color uniformity of the Ultra Wool. So that's what he's getting, and it's gonna be great. I'm so excited to knit this sweater for him. I've never knit a sweater for, my mom is gonna kill me. My mom has been trying to get me to knit her a sweater forever, and I have the yarn for it. I just haven't gotten around to making it, and I don't knit for other people normally. I only usually knit for myself, with the exception of accessories. Like, I'll knit an accessory for someone, but a sweater is a labor of love, and I haven't really had time. So now I'll be making Brandon a sweater. My mom is gonna kill me. She told me last time that it's fine, I could wait until she's in her casket and wrap her up in it. so dramatic. But don't worry, I'll make you a sweater, Mom. I'll make you a sweater. So yeah, that is going to be Brandon's sweater. And another acquisition that I got is also from Clay Cannon, which is Jessica that I mentioned before. And I picked up from her a little Grim Reaper. And I picked up, okay, so this is a needle minder for embroidery or needlepoint. However, it really is a little Ouija board planchette with roses. How was I going to pass that up, guys? How? So what I'm going to be using this for is when I have a lot of ends to weave in, or when I'm making my scrappy blanket, at the ends of every row of my scrappy blanket, I weave in the ends. And then I put my needle down, and I'm constantly like losing my needle. So I got this so that I could actually go like this and put it here and then stick my needle to it and hold it for me while I'm in between rows. Brilliant. So I'm super excited about that. Absolutely beautiful. And the absolute last thing that I got, I swear this is the last thing, is Creepy Tarot. This is not a yarny acquisition, but it's an acquisition nonetheless because I collect rare and indie tarot decks, I would say. And this one is really nice. So this one, let me show you. I'll show you. Trying to find a major arcana. So like here's Temperance. A little creepy. Swords. Creepy, creepy. The World. I would say this isn't really a great deck for if you're learning tarot because they didn't illustrate the minors. See, 2 pentacles is literally just 2 pentacles. Like that, the picture, there's no, it's not going to help you remember anything. So if you don't already know what the card means, this is not a good deck. But nonetheless, it's cute and I'll add it to my collection. Like this is a star. So I was pretty excited to pick that up. It's something cute. I have a couple tarot decks that are on their way that were Kickstarters. And if you don't know what Kickstarter is, it's when someone has an idea for something and then they ask you to pledge money without the product being shipped yet. And you pledge money. And then when the product is ready, then they ship it out to you. So, Creepy Tarot. All right, that was a lot to get through. So if you have made it this far, thank you so much. I am so excited that you're here with me. I'm so excited for so many reasons. So excited. Okay. That brings me to the fact that we're going to do another giveaway. I have hit 1,000 subscribers. Q screams. Like 1,000 people want to share their time with me. That means the world to me. I can't even put into words how it feels to know that when I talk, you listen. That means so much to me. So thank you for sharing your time with me. I know that we are all busy and we all have stuff that we could be doing. And there's a million other podcasters out there that you could watch, but you're spending your time with me. And I appreciate that so much. We're going to do 1,000 follower giveaway. So this giveaway is going to be specifically curated for you. So what I want you to do in the comments is tell me what you would want to receive in a yarny giveaway package. And what I mean by that is, obviously it's gonna have like yarn or fiber. Like if you prefer fiber, tell me fiber. If you prefer yarn, tell me yarn. If you can tell me what colors you like, if you can tell me if you need stitch markers or if you need knitting needles, or like whatever you would want to get in a package, please tell me what you would want to get, and I will curate a package as best as I can to meet those needs. So don't forget to leave a comment down below. Please subscribe, like my video, subscribe to my channel so that you can get all of my videos from here on out. It really helps to become a subscriber. I know that that can get a little annoying sometimes if you subscribe to too many people, but I do really, really appreciate the fact that you are subscribed. I love to leave you with a motivational quote. I haven't been doing that. I've been kind of like going on the fly, and I don't have a motivational quote with you or with me today, but I do want to say that the suicide hotline has now changed their number from the standard number to a #988, I believe it is. I will put it on the screen because, like I said, I'm flying by the seat of my pants and I don't have anything prepared, and I'm distracted by the dog. But now you can just hit these 3 numbers and be connected to the suicide hotline. If you feel like you can't make it, reach out. If you feel like you are in the darkest of times and there is no way out, reach out. We're here. I am here. If you're feeling down, send me a text message. I will talk to you. And by text message, I mean you can get a hold of me through Instagram DMs. I try my best to get everyone. Sometimes Instagram hides accounts from me and I don't see them till a couple days later, so I really apologize for that. But I try to get back to everyone that messages me. I really love chatting with you guys. I love all of the relationships that I've built with all of you in each and every way. And each and every one. I value every friendship and I love you all. So with that being said, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Stay happy, be beautiful, be you, and make magic wherever you go. Bye guys.